Hey fam, what's up, what's up? This is Robert Anton here, robertantonnyc.com, coming to you once again with another American Idol no frills commentary from a singer. Yes, tonight was the top 13. We got to look at everybody, a good long look at everybody. To start out tonight was American Idol's 400th episode 400. Count them. Congratulations, Idol. Ryan introduced the girls first and then the guys. And tonight they're doing something just a little bit different. He announced it's the guys against the girls. And tomorrow night, what's going to happen is they're going to announce the bottom guy and the bottom girl. And the judges have to decide which one to send home. Yeah, so just a little bit of more drama to go on and a little bit more on the judge's shoulders, make them look good or make them look bad. I don't know. It could go either way. Tonight, the girls did Whitney Houston, the guys did Stevie Wonder, and Mary J. Blige was mentoring. First up, Joshua Ledet did I Wish, and he had a horn section on stage with them. That's the first thing I noticed. I was like, oh yeah, go ahead. Oh, this is going to be popping, right? His vocals were so on point. I mean, he sang the heck out of this song. He had some nice hits going on and just very well placed little extras that he added to the melody and whatnot. And he did a little scatting at one point. I thought he tore it up. The only thing I thought was kind of funny is he was doing this pumping, jumping across the stage kind of thing, almost like a little... I don't know. Somebody said on Twitter that it was kind of fabulous. Yeah, it was kind of fabulous. And at the end, he did a little Fantasia run at yeah, kind of thing. So I was like, okay, go ahead on, boy. The judges all said he nailed it. And I thought he did a wonderful job. It was very entertaining. And just the vocals were dead on point. Elise Testone came up next and she did I'm Your Baby Tonight. Now let me say first, she had chosen The Greatest Love of All. But they didn't like the way it sounded in her voice, so they changed the song on her. Mainly Jimmy, changed the song on her. And, I liked this second song better. Even from the beginning, I thought it sounded a little better. And I liked how her voice was sounding on stage when she was performing on the song, but it didn't look like she was feeling it. She wasn't into it. It looked like to me that she was still mad that she had to do this song. And she just wasn't getting into it. This is a performance you have got to produce. They've given you this song on this national program, and you are going to be seen internationally. You have to produce no matter what you have to do, no matter what attitude you have. And I think she could have used some of that sassiness that maybe she felt about, being switched and all that good stuff in the song. Everything that you're feeling can be used in your performance. So if that moment, if you are feeling upset and about something, then you need to bring that attitude into the meaning and the feel and the presentation of the song. And she didn't do that. She just kind of let it lackluster. Like I said, she sounded good, but she wasn't giving anything. I was thinking, maybe you don't know this song so well, but you're telling somebody I'm your baby tonight, so you should be flirting with them. Naturally, that's the first thing. She could have been a lot more playful and fun-loving in her presentation, and I think it would have came off better. J-Lo said it wasn't her best. Randy said she was boxing with the song, like she wasn't really getting the rhythms and stuff like that, and that it wasn't good. She said when she was asked that she didn't really know the song for long enough, and she didn't have enough time to make it her own. She said, I only had like 4 or 5 days, if I had it for a month. But you know what? I wrote Idol Experience. Idol, you do not have a month to learn a new song, make it your own, and put it up. Sometimes you only have 3-4 days, and you have to produce, and that's part of the job. That's part of the challenge of the competition. And if she's going to stay on, she needs to realize that. Next up was Jermaine Jones. He did Knocks Me Off My Feet. He really came in nice with this song. It was nice, it was sultry, it was low, and his voice was really good. I think it sat perfectly in his sound. It showed off his tenderness, but it also showed the fullness. I wrote the fullness in his vocal chamber. I mean, it just resonated through his body and throughout the audience and through, well, for me, from what I could hear through my television speakers. So, I don't know. If you were in the audience, let me know if it resonated for you in the audience the way it did here on the television. But it just sounded really, really good to me. He was having a good time, and he was making them faces, he making them faces, his concentrating faces and stuff like that. I think it's a nice part of his performance personally. Yeah, just nice. I really enjoyed it. J-Lo gave him some critique about starting to really feel the song, presenting it to someone, because she says that he was feeling, he's concentrating on it, and that's why he's making the faces. I like the faces. But she's saying, if he's actually singing the song to someone, and she suggested he sing to her, that it would come off better and he would lose some of that concentration and just perform the song. And it's true, when you tell the story, you tend to perform the song better. Randy said he didn't love the chorus because Jermaine changed the melody too much. I didn't agree. I thought it was perfect what he did, but there you have it. Erika Van Pelt was up next. She did I Believe in You and Me. Mary J. Blige said it great. She said it perfectly. She said it the way I've been trying to say it the last few songs when I talk about how she has such a surprising, full, rich tone. And she said, Erika seriously has a full, rich steak and potatoes voice. I mean, just so much to dig into, so much that is satisfying. And I really got it when she said that. I was like, yeah, that's what it is. I mean, it's just very filling. It is very, just everything that you need. I loved what she did in the beginning of the song better than I did the rest. When she went up higher and she did her thing, I thought she still did well, but I like that sound of that full, that richness. And I don't think she has brought that, to her upper register. I think one of the things that I worked on in my vocal training sometime is being a bass, being able to do the high notes without losing the depth. So you kind of learn how to stretch your range this way, both ways. So you bring some depth to the height and you bring some height to the depth. And I think she's not really getting that yet, because when she has that full rich tone, for me, it is perfect. When she goes up higher, she loses some of that richness and some of that velvetyness that I like so much. But I really enjoyed the performance altogether. I just want to hear more of that to this top part, so that it's not so tinny. I also wrote that she brought herself into the song and really brought her spirit to it, and I really enjoyed that. Colton Dixon was up next. He did Lately. I like how he sounded on this. And at some points, it kind of felt like he was more speaking it, like he was really just giving us this talk, between me and you. Listen, this is between me and you. I really felt that. And he also seemed to really get into the emotion of the piece, and he was totally invested in it at the end. He just had he had a little wateriness going on in the eye, and he brought this last note that was just perfect, just left it right there. And I really enjoyed that. Shannon MaGrane was up next. She did I Have Nothing. One of my most favorite Test Whitney songs. And I write this as it's going along, so sometimes I'm catching something, as it happens. And I wrote, she had a few bad notes, but also made some light little changes here and there that I liked. Then she hit the key change, and for me, it was really bad. She just didn't hit it, she didn't make it, and she felt it. She felt it, and I feel like it kind of zapped her confidence, and it went downhill from there. She started really singing off pitch. She wasn't really catching what was going. She started to strain and started to tighten her throat. So I just felt like she choked up, and it just didn't come out so well. She's young, and maybe she didn't know how to handle it, and just to lay back, take a breath, and relax and get back into it. But she didn't quite get it after that key change. It just went all haywire. Next was DeAndre Brackensick. He did Master Blaster, Jammin. The coaching session they did with him did wonders for him on this song. I don't know how he sounded exactly before. He started out singing it nice and pretty, and he just brought everything. When he came on stage, he came with rhythm, he came with attitude, he seemed to be trying to have fun, and it really transferred to me. I felt like it was a good rendition of the song, and he seemed to be enjoying it. And I wrote, and thank God he was singing in his natural voice. It's so pleasing, and he needs to depend on it more often. Tyler said that he had that Naima thing going on, and he was referencing last season's Naima Adedapo. And I actually texted her saying, oh, you got a shout out. Then I saw several other people saying, yeah, see when Tyler shouted out. She was actually watching the show and tweeting also. So she got that. I thought that was very nice. Next up was Skylar Laine, and she did Where Do Broken Hearts Go? Everybody's like, is she going to be able to do a Whitney song? And, and she was like, I've never really, sang Whitney, and I didn't really grow up with her and all this good stuff, So I was like, oh my God. But I wrote, like a real country singer, she took this song and she decided to tell the story. And she sat there, and I thought it was a little choppy in the beginning. You know, she was really breaking it up. But I think she was really trying to get into the story of the song. And so I really enjoyed it. I felt like she was telling us her story. And it was just great. It transferred very well for her. It fit right in her voice, so I enjoyed it. I wrote laid back and with depth, and the vocals were also pretty. It just had so much grit to it because she was telling the story. She handled this very, very, very well. And J-Lo said she gave us the biggest moment of the night. And I think it was the biggest moment so far because everybody was not expecting this to come out so well from her, and she proved that she could sing almost anything, but definitely that she could connect with the story and give us her side of it, and I really enjoyed that, and I always enjoy that in a singer performer. Heejun Han was next. He did All in Love is Fair, and he's so funny. He brought stuff for Jimmy, you know, because last week Jimmy was saying I don't get him and stuff, and he won Jimmy over this time. At least Jimmy said he did win him over, and he's just such a stand-up guy. I cannot help but really, really like this boy. I wrote, I was riveted by this performance. He was so invested in the emotion. They stripped everything kind of bare for him, had him go and he was just very, very light, and it was just touching. He sounded great. Though he dropped some of the ends of several words, you know, he didn't say the ends of the words, so like if you didn't know the song, you wouldn't know exactly what was going on, what was being said. But everything about it was just so good. You forgive. And with any performance, you forgive certain little things that go off if it is just coming across, if it is invested emotionally, if the person, and he does, has a beautiful tone, a beautiful sound that just touches your ear and it's like, ooh, I like that. I wrote he needs a little vocal training, but he has so much raw talent and such a pleasing tone, such a pleasing sound. It's just pleasing to the ear naturally. Yeah, and I really enjoyed it. If you didn't get that out of that so far. Next up was Hollie Cavanagh. She did All the Man That I Need. And I wrote, Hollie has a really big voice that lacks just a little bit of finesse. She did a pretty good job with the notes in this song, but she sounded very young and raw vocally to me. She nailed her long held out note near the end, you know, and brought it down nicely. But I was wanting something more, and she has a lot more to give. I also on Twitter, I wrote, you know what, she can only get better as she gets more polished, more something. It just was lacking something for me, but I thought it was still very good. Jermaine Rosado up next did Ribbon in the Sky. I like the whole violin section thing on stage. That was really good. Just a bunch of violins lined up. I really enjoyed that. He had some nice tones coming out and a lot of conviction. I liked his voice, but with so much to prove, I don't know if this rendition was good enough. I like that he attacked things and he was really like on it, but it just wasn't, it wasn't moving, you know, for me. It just wasn't moving. Tyler said he didn't get a chance to fly because it wasn't in the song. And Randy said he didn't really believe it tonight. Jessica Sanchez did I Will Always Love You. She got the treatment, okay? She got the foggy floor. She got the wind machine. Of course, it starts out a cappella. She had total silence with the lights low, you know, the little spot or whatever. Yeah. And it worked. And it worked amazingly well. I'm glad that the coaches that were coaching her pulled her back, you know, because she was doing a lot of runs and riffs and a lot of vibrato and everything. And they told her to pull it back and check the melismas and all that. But she added just enough of herself to this song. And she really sang it from the heart. I felt like she sang it from the heart. But I felt like she was also holding back, you know, her natural need to like really, you know, do all those little extra things, and it worked so well. The judges gave her the first standing ovation of the night. I thought it was very well deserved. In fact, it was the only standing ovation from the judges of the night. And you know, and I like the way like when she's really feeling the rhythm and stuff, she does the little thing with her fingers on the microphone, you know, and really just shows to me that she's using that musicality that is inside of her to really work out what she's doing in her vocals. And some people do tend to do that. They have little things that they do when they're really getting into it. I think now and then, like when I'm really trying to get the feeling of a song, I'll start like acting like I'm like playing the bass, you know, or something. And it really just gives me a grounding in the musicality of the song. I can't say enough about this performance because it was great. It was perfect. Perfectly done, perfectly on pitch, perfectly sung, like presented, not over sung. She did such a great job, and just the little swells and things and the big notes, and I really enjoyed it. Phillips last did the pimp spot of the night. He did Superstition. He had a good attack on this. I really liked the way he came into it. But still, this strange intensity that I'm just like, just kind of, I don't know if it necessarily turns me off, but it kind of gives me a moment. I like the hits between the very first verse that he did. They had a really do like they did before he came in again. They also brought back the onstage horn section. I like that. And they had like, it was Phillip and two more guitars. I called it the guitar trio. I really liked that. It was okay for me as far as his singing. Randy said he drives his own car in his own lane and he loves it. And I have a feeling that people are either going to love it or hate it. For me, I thought it was okay. I like some things about the performance, but it's just, what do you think? What did you find strange? Yeah, this is Robert Anton, robertantonnyc.com. I am out of here. I hope you enjoyed the commentary. Please make sure to thumb this up, rate it, send it around, favorite it. Let me know what you thought. Also check out my So You Want to Be a Singer series here on YouTube and my original playlist. I'm out. Peace.